Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Footscray Lacrosse Club for Game 2 of the men's component of the 2019 Australian Senior National Championship. We're about to see New South Wales, Queensland and ACT, the East Coast All-Stars, take on South Australia in their both teams' respective opening games. This morning we saw Victoria take on Western Australia in a game that Victoria ended up winning 11-7. And we're hoping that this afternoon's contest will be just as good as we saw from the finalists of last year's competition. New South Wales, always a little bit of an unknown. They've got a few interstate players, some Victorian locals that have joined their ranks, but their programs out of the East Coast are growing year by year. So we've seen massive development within those teams, and it'll be interesting to see how they do for the start of this tournament, because obviously without the same access to regular play as Victoria, South Australia and WA, it's a little bit hard for these guys to get the same amount of competition. But every year we've seen good growth from New South Wales, Queensland, and we're hoping for more of the same. South Australia have quite a young side, a number of debutants playing for them today, a lot of first games out there, so it should be a good matchup with a few of the more experienced East Coast All-Stars, some of the younger South Australians, and then some of the veteran South Aussies holding everything together. Play is going to get underway very shortly now. The sun has come out. It is looking lovely here at Footscray. Ground is in good nick so far. It had been virtually unused this season until the tournament. Victoria's rainy week that we've had has done its best to make it a bit boggy, but Footscray, they've been doing a good job looking after their grounds. That Mr. Greg Mollison out on the Super Sopper. He's not just coaching the Victorian men, he's also doing field maintenance, and held up very well in the first game. So should be a great hit out between South Australia and the East Coast. Both teams lining up to take the field. Referees just getting the balls ready, and we'll be underway briefly. Speaking with Tony Watts, the one of the co-coaches for South Australia, before earlier on we were talking during the Victorian West Australian game. He was liking what he was seeing between those two teams, and I think he sounded quietly confident that SA are going to be able to be running with those teams. So we'll see how that goes as this game progresses. I think he's excited to be working with such a young group of players from SA. But again, they do have some of those veteran players to sort of fill the gaps and hold that together. Very young attack line though for SA. Cody Watts between the pipes for the South Australians. He's had a bit of experience in these tournaments. He was an MVP in the 2016, I believe, Senior Nationals. Well, not MVP, but maybe the goalie of the tournament, I should say. So it should be a good showing for him. Between the pipes for New South Wales, Scott Gilmore. They're one of the co-captains. We'll see how he does. Haven't seen a lot of his play, but he was looking sharp in the warm-up. So hopefully it's a good battle, and New South Wales can keep South Australia relatively quiet out there. Again, we've got both starting lineups on the field, all 10 of the players, the rest of the bench staying off. Goalies shake hands, they'll go to their respective ends, and we're going to be underway. SA leaving the huddle there. Looks like it's going to be 26 Omar Al-Kayat for New South Wales taking the face-off. And looks like Jack Woodford for SA in there. Legal procedure by Woodford, and we're underway with play. New South Wales, Queensland starting with the ball. Very wide set from the gentleman in the pale blue to start. SA pushing out. Matt Davies, a Footscray local, with the ball now. One of a number of Victorians on the team. Al Kayat with the ball now. Gets it on to Greg Bren, another one of the co-captains. Ball's at X now. Alex Kober with it, sends it off to Davies again. Davies player Mitchell Fuss coming out to put the pressure on him. Davies handling relatively easy though. That shot hits a defender, deflects out of bounds. Backed up though by the East Coast. Back here there was Al Kayat who took that shot. Roll inside, roll back out now. Loose ball chased up now. And East Coast still in possession. Sends it down low, ball behind now. Al Kayat cutting down Matt Davies with the ball. Staying nice and wide, tempting the South Australian defence to come out after them. New South Queensland not rushing there. Another great check to deflect that shot. It was Tyler Nolf, number 7 there. Couldn't get his shot on target though. Good approach from the defender, going for the head of the stick, getting that check down. And deflecting the shot wide. Kober with it behind. Spins it up top. Al Kayat now with the ball. Ball knocked loose by a South Australian defender. And pops up across the midline now. Number 4, Luke Keesing with it. Sends it down low for Lim. Jake Rosenthal with it again. Alan Lim back to Fuss. SA swing it around. Not too many subs there. Set straight into the offense. Fuss sends it across the top now. Ball's with Keesing. Big check there. That's another one of our Footscray defenders there. Big bump on that. Short stick behind with the ball. Looking to swing it around the outside. It's Woodford. He's guarded closely though. Ball up top now with Alan Lim. Over for Keesing. Got Robbie Buckhorn watching him. Bit of a pass down, pick down look there. First goal of the game. And it's South Australia, number 17, Jack Woodford, putting that one on the board for the Reds. See a replay of that one. It's just that swing through X and a nice little step down. Ball behind, little pick game from the top. Coming over, bit of a show. Doesn't quite use the pick completely, steps back and puts it away. Louis Dow taking the face-off for South Australia. And we've got Aaron Aldred, another one of our Victorian East Coast players, in the centre for the Blues. Dow comes up with the ball. He's guarded closely by Aldred, gets the pass off. Ball up top now. South Australia looking to settle into attack. Carried over by Stephen Mortimer, one of the captains for South Australia. Down into attack now. Keesing with it, sends it up top again. Woodford with it. Keesing sends it behind. SA again looking for that pick down look. Getting free at the top. Keesing chases that one down, comes up with it again. Looking for the lefty drive across the top, looking inside, picked off by the New South Queensland goalie. Is looking for Buckhorn on that one, couldn't get it. Alex Mercier comes up with the loose ball though, running up the field. Number 1 with the golden helmet, hands off to Nolf. Nolf has Aldred there. Sends it to the far side. Back to Aldred. Davies now with it. Davies behind, loopy pass, knocked down by the South Australian defender, number 27, Giacomo Lovett. Knocked loose, though, out of bounds. Picked up now by New South Wales at Queensland. Drive inside, thought about the shot, couldn't get his hands free, though. The double team comes from South Australia. Ball's knocked loose. Hockeyed up the field, but it's going to make it out of bounds. We're going to have East Coast ball again. Aldred will take this one now for the gentleman in blue. Davies has it, hands off to Greg Bren, the orange helmet. Davies down to Aldred now. Ball loose, left to pick it up. Nice split there, gets up top, up to Davies. On to Bren now. Bren thinks about the pass down low, back to Aldred. Aldred steps down, hitches. Face dodge under his man. Kick save there by Cody Watts. Got leg to that one. Quick outlet pass, and we're moving upfield now. It's Stephen Mortimer with the ball on transition. He's got Davies with him. Will he shoot? Yes, he will. Will he score? No. Ball wide, picked up by South Australia behind. Good clearing work there by Stephen Mortimer. East Coast looking to settle things down now. Woodford with the ball, sends it down. At X now with South Australia up the near side. Up top for Keesing again. Keesing has Mercier with him. Checks there, shot wide of target. Ball's out the back, backed up by South Australia. Woodford with it, one-on-one. He's got the shorty matchup. Pick comes in there. I'd like the pick almost set a little bit late on that one, but no call from the umpires. Referees, I should say. Up top now, Bartlett with the ball. He's guarded by the short stick. Hands back, thought about a shot, decided against it. Looking for the drive from behind now. It's Arlen Lim. Lim weaves through the double, pulls it back out. Up top now, step down shot. No defence coming. Big save though. And East Coast can't get that one free. Picked up now. Davies, good work on the ride there. Mercier has the ball ahead of him. He's chasing it down. Good speed. Can he get to the ground ball contest? Ball's batted forward by South Australia. Both poles going for it. Keesing trying for it. Mercier bats the ball loose again. Still uncontrolled. People on the sideline suggesting players get the ball. Players still thinking about it. Not quite sure. Ball's far side. And finally picked up there by the East Coast. As Michael Wallace came up with the ground ball there. Ball's now with Matt Davies. Looking to settle things down after that scrum we just had in front of the camera. Nolf with it now. Nolf looks for the one-on-one. He's got Keesing guarding him. Looks to wrap around the corner. Gets it up top now. Al-Kayat with the ball. 1-0 so far in the first here. Ball was misfired there, but picked up by Davies under pressure. He's got Lovat all over him. Al-Kayat with the ball again. Looking for the dodge from the top. He's got the pole with him. Gets his hands free. Can he get the shot off? No. Pulls it out wide behind. Up top now. Face dodge there. Looking inside. Shot wide of goal across the front there. Cody Watt trying to bring the ball in. Pushes through off the ball. Ends up on top of a player. And I've got a whistle on the play there. I think it's going to be Watt on that one, coming through and knocking the man who was already down. Ball up top now. Braden West with it. His pass knocked down. Out of bounds on the far side. It's going to be South Australian ball. Giacomo Lovat with it. No real ride set up by New South Wales, Queensland, but that pass off target anyway, so they'll come back with the ball now. Handed off, Al-Kayat with the ball. Gets it up to West. West down for Nolf now. Yeah, New South Wales, no rush offensively. They're pulling things back, trying to draw out these South Australian defenders. That ball knocked down. Keesing staying solid on the defence there. Big bump as Keesing comes up with the ball. Weaving through traffic. He's got a pass ahead. It's Bartlett now with it. Can he settle? Gets under one. Gets by the second defender. Feeds inside, and it's Arlen Lim who finds the back of the net to make it 2-0. South Australia leading. See the replay on that one, and it was Luke Keesing who sent the ball upfield there. Got it to Bartlett. Bartlett draws the attention. Defence all collapse on him, and Lim was open to put the ball in the back of the net on that backside cut there. Aldred in the centre for the East Coast. Looks like Jack Woodford back in for South Australia now. Check that. It was number 10, Douglas Brooks, taking the centre for South Australia. Illegal procedure on him. Aldred comes up with the ball. Davies has it. He's hounded there. Kesavan all over him. Big roll inside. Gets his hands free. Looking at Davies. Davies around the back now. Do we have a step down look for Aldred? Not quite. He's got the shorty matchup. Goes one-on-one. Down the lane there. Looking for the low angle shot. Not enough on that one. Watt gets his stick to it. I think almost lost that one in the sunlight. But came up with a save. Good body position on that from Watt. Forced that low angle shot. Trust your body to be there when it comes. Far side now. South Australia looking to clear over there. Get it over the midline now, and Lim sends it up into SA's attack. 6-on-6 matchup. The Reds have got to be favouring themselves, but no point rushing and throwing away opportunities against the less experienced East Coast team. Got to find the opportunities, make them count now, so they're getting ready going forward when we've got WA and Victoria on the menu for these guys. Short time left here in the first quarter. It's 2-0. South Australia doing a good job playing cat and mouse with the East Coast team. East Coast had a few good looks, but haven't been able to get on the board just yet. Big shot wide of the target there from South Australia. Backed up by the Reds. Ball's on the far side now. SA looking to swing it around. The double cut from the top now. Righty drive. Taking away his angle. Big shot. Good eat from the keeper there. No angle on that one for the righty shot. Not sure why he kept going lower on that one. But big save there. Neither team able to come up with the ball just yet. Taken now by South Australia, and they're looking to get back on the attack. Just hearing from the referees, it's 2 minutes left now in the quarter. Bartlett with the ball, sends it up top. Down now for Lim. Driving from X. Lim gets it, righty shot. Has the angle this time, puts it in the back of the net. See on the replay of this one, we'll see this step down again. This time it was just the difference of angle. Last time he drove low, took away the angle. This time Lim getting himself planted high and wide of the goal and able to just have that step down rip. Redirection from X. Defender shows down. That adjacent defender, I think it was Aldred there, showing down to the ball carrier behind. Just leaving Arlen Lim with his hands free, ready to step down and rip that one to the far side, making it 3-0. South Australia leading over the East Coast. Jack Woodford in the centre now. He wins that one forward to himself. He's got players ahead. Looking for the step down, decides against it, feeds Keesing on the crease. Lefty can't get the finish there. Ball picked up by South Australia behind. Little stumble there. Did a good job to keep his feet beneath him there, Lim. Far side now. Keesing has the ball. Here's Buckhorn with him. Step down shot saved by the goalie. Woodford couldn't get that one to go. Clock is on the field now. We're going to have 30 seconds left in the play. Step down, Woodford with it. Low angle goes right. Picks his stick back up though on that shot and gets that little dip to the top corner. Did a good job changing planes on that one, Woodford. We'll see in the replay, he was sort of setting up almost like he was going for just a 45-degree angle rip. Then he brought his hands low and then just flicked that stick up right at the last minute to stick it top side. We'll see the step down drive here. Has the shorty matchup, gets by his man, gets his hands low and then just whips it up at the last minute. Goalie misreading low on that one. And SA making it 4-0 as we come towards the end of the first period of play. In the centre, it's Al-Kayat there for East Coast. Louis Dow for South Australia. Couldn't get it free. Matt Davies with the ball now. Short time on it. Looks for the shot and sticks it past Watt. Good shot on target there. Great box out by Al-Kayat on the face-off. Plays it forward to himself. Gets it ahead to Davies. We'll see again. And makes it count. Again, big fight. South Australian player leaving it behind. Al-Kayat, good composure to get that ground ball. Rolls out to safety, gets his hands free for the pass. Davies runs down that low-to-low rip. The goalie unable to get there as he sticks it by Watt, making it 4-1 with only seconds left here in the first. Fighting for that one, played out, back down with it. Hasn't got any stick clean though. Al-Kayat makes a fight of it. Davies looking to clear through. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Scores are 4-1. South Australia leading the East Coast All-Stars. It was a slow start for South Australia before they finally got some momentum going. No scores in about the first half of that quarter. But eventually managed to get on the board and started scoring at a bit more of a regular clip from there on. 4-1 is the score. We're going to have some replays from the first quarter now as we head into quarter time. It was far side. Keesing had the ball for SA. Sends it behind. They've done a good job directing through X, getting their movement off ball. Arlen Lim on that pick down and the step around there, and Woodford had that one all to himself as Lim cleared through the defence. I think the defender's ready to set that, almost have a switch off that pick, but neither player quite went back with the ball. It was a ground ball from Keesing up now on the drive inside. Quick pass to the crease and Lim finished on that one again. It was just that timing of the slide. East Coast giving a little bit too much room down low and South Australia capitalising, filling that space behind. Todd Bartlett again with the ball. He sent over the far side. Arlen Lim, he'd had a shot just before this play, closing his angle on that righty step down. This time he got himself the angle, got himself his hands free and then got himself a goal. And then the last one of these from SA. It was the inbounds play. Did a good job sort of setting up that ISO to begin with, and Bartlett just sneaks around his man, gets his hands free and puts it away. And the last goal of the quarter was East Coast's goal. That was the Al-Kayat win, and then Davies on the run, that worm burner to the far corner, getting the better of Cody Watt. But we're back now for the second quarter. Aaron Aldred against Jack Woodford. I think it was a break again on the Reds. Be interesting to see an implementation of the NCAA rule where they've got the limit on breaks in the half, where after 3 breaks, the next time your team gets a penalty on a face-off, you start getting technical penalties. Had a number from SA, and they'd be in the red already. As Aldred turns the corner, looking to get down the line. Up top now, ball's loose, couldn't quite get a handle on it. It was James Dawson there, and SA are clearing back upfield now. Big slide there. It's long slides from East Coast, just giving themselves too much room to cover there. That was probably that first slide just a little bit early, and it just meant that SA had a whole heap of time to find their passes as they were looking up. We'll see on the clear here, the ball was wobbled out of a stick. Great ground ball there, clearing through the SA defender, driving up. And you see this first slide came when he was still probably 10 metres above the restraining line, and it just meant it was 3 really long-distance slides, not giving Scott Gilmore much of a look there on that backside for the finish as SA find the back of the net through the stick of Luke Keesing. The break this time on New South. Al-Kayat there couldn't get the handle on it. Dow comes out with it. Keesing has it, sends it down low. Around the back now for SA. Far side sends it up top. Bartlett now has the ball up to Keesing. Bartlett, the righty, sends it across the top now for Woodford. Woodford gets under his man. We've seen that before, just the sneaky little shift move. Back with Woodford now up top to Lim. Bartlett again has the ball. Swinging it round behind. SA not in any hurry here. Bartlett down to Marinkovic. Back up top now, ball's down. Had time to pick it up though, he's watched by Mercier. Bartlett now, Woodford, sorry, with the ball. He's guarded by Al-Kayet. Pass inside to Keesing, who sticks to the top corner. That pass inside you'll see on the replay. Bit of a risky one there. Keesing had to go full stretch for that to get it down, but manages to take it without too much physical contact. Gets himself free to put the ball away. Again, just watching that backside. It's the backside movement that's been a big issue for East Coast so far, I should say. Keesing there gets the big body. Gets his hands free, though, and is able to put that one to the top corner. I think East Coast just stretching themselves a little bit too far on their defensive sets. Ball played out wide, picked up by Mercier in the gold chrome lid. Ball's now with Koba. Up top to Davies. Ball now far side. It's Greg Bren with it. Ball behind now. East Coast looking to attack. Davies again with the ball. Davies turns the corner. It doesn't have the angle on that one, though, and finds the outside of the net. Big, quick clearing pass there by Cody Watt. SA on the breakaway. Keesing now with the ball, looking for trailers. Nuncarmany sends it down behind. Bartlett with the ball. Over for Keesing. Rowe with it, back up top to Bartlett. Over for Keesing, back to Bartlett. Swinging it across the top. Pick look coming now. Not on it. Robbie Buckhorn there guarding Keesing. Feed inside, big save there by the East Coast keeper. Coming up with that one. Looking to run the clear there. Pass wide. Can Davies keep it in? Yes, he can. Can East Coast keep use of it? Ball knocked by the South Australian player, picked up by East Coast. Big hustle play there from Scott Gilmore, the keeper, and then Matthew Davies to keep that ball in play for East Coast. Just tipped out of bounds by South Australia, so the Blues keep it. Looking for the drive across the top side, couldn't get it to go. Bren with the ball now. Bren looks for the lefty drive. Big shot, stick side high. Cody Watt coming up with that one comfortably. Gets it behind, looks to direct the clear. New South sinking a long way back. Leaving a number of passes early on for SA. Watt in no rush to clear though. Watt just watching things at the moment. Back to Watt again. Wide clearing pass and SA up into attack now. Sneaks by his man. Big wind up on that one. Couldn't get it to go though. Ball picked up behind. Keesing has it again. Keesing pulls it overhand after the low wind-up. Gets that one by Scott Gilmore, the keeper there. See a replay on this one. It's just that quick inbound play. Good heads-up pass. Ball was behind, so there was a big underhanded rip here. Missed everything. But the quick backup for SA. Keesing had Robbie Buckhorn was covering him, but he was still looking at the rest of the defense. They were sort of trying to have a bit of a communication. That quick restart doing no favours for East Coast as SA capitalise again, quickly making it 7-1 for the Reds. Aldred got the clamp on that one. Big kick through there by Woodford. Called for that. And East Coast coming up with the ball now. Jared Neal with it. Sends it down low. Ball's behind now. And East Coast call a timeout on the play. They trail 7-1. It was 4-1 at quarter time. It's been a quicker start for South Australia this quarter. East Coast trying to hold on as they face a barrage from a young South Australian attack line who, with a lot to prove, are doing a good job of it so far. Both teams going with a number of face-off players early on. We've seen at least 3 from both sides. No particular standout yet in terms of possession gained, but both sides making a battle for it in the middle. Both sides doing a good job through that. Just a few shout-outs. We've got some fans all around. Charlie Zarafa, not sure how many Queenslanders are in the team, but it's a good number, we think, for the East Coast All-Stars. Ryan Spark over in WA joining in. Sean Aaron, I'm not sure if he's still on a tropical holiday, but if he is, good on him. Simon Fleet's watching. Brett Gaspari. Just if you're watching the stream, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to know the spread of it. Obviously, we're going to have plenty of fans from the East Coast states, as well as plenty of SA fans checking in today. But if you're at work somewhere slightly less exciting than Footscray Lacrosse Club today, maybe you can drop us a line. Might earn yourself a shout-out. Ball behind now. Great change of direction there. Up top now to Aldred. Gets by his man. He's got the short stick matchup. Big shot if he can get his wind up there, Aldred. But does need that bigger wind up. Doesn't have the quick release we see from some of our step down shooters. But he's if he can get his hands free, Aldred can be dangerous. Big shot now. Big clear now, I should say. Sorry. And it's Fuss running upfield. Keesing gets it, sends it back up top. Loose ball there. Couldn't get a handle on it. Picked up by Jared Neal. Puts the afterburners on. Drops the ball, but manages to pick it up again cleanly. Braden West has it, sends it over to Cobra on the far side now. Sorry, Nolf. Tyler Nolf there with the ball. Davies now has it, gets it to Alkayet. Down the lefty side, sends it behind. Pass couldn't be taken, unlucky there for Alex Cobra, number 24. SA looking to clear again now. Watt with the ball. SA no urgency on this clear. They're not looking to rush play at the moment. Letting the East Coast come to them. SA get the clear now. Looking up inside for Fuss. The pass to the man with the double team. Again, that's one of those, maybe one of those slightly overly ambitious moves we see from a young offensive lineup. As Davies looks to clear. Ball now. Big shot. Good save by Watt. Mercier comes up with it. Runs to safety. Looking for pass options. Where can he find them? Gets it out behind now. Gilbert Kelsey with the ball. Ball's behind now with Nolf. Up to Kelsey now. He's got James Dawson. Dawson couldn't get a handle on that one. Will pick it up before his defender arrives. Looks to send it off. Pass off target, though. Picked up now by the South Australian defence, and they're looking to clear. Michael Forbes there gets the clear. Ball's behind with Fuss. Keesing now with it. Sees the double coming. High pass there. Taken by taken by South Australia. There was a flag on the play there. Sorry about that. That was Arlen Lim who was the target of that one. Managed to get the ball, but once it hit the deck, it's East Coast who are going to sit for the offside there. So it'll be a 30-second penalty. We'll see South Australia go man up. First power play of the game. Far side now. Forbes with the ball. Gets it up top to Woodford. Onto Bartlett. Lim there. Sends it down behind. Keesing has it. Up to Lim now. Lim for the righty. Step down again. He's not doing himself much favours with the angle there, Arlen Lim. As SA look to get their hands free for another shot. Step down now, far side, and big finish. Todd Bartlett finds the top corner as the timer runs out on that penalty. Big finish there from South Australia, making it 8-1. We'll see the replay there. It was just good ball movement. New South defence just probably, maybe playing a little bit too close in on that one. Big show in there. We have the circling around the top, and that step down there, we've just got that far side. That rotation a little bit late as Davies looks to come over for it. Just couldn't get there in time. West in the centre for East Coast. West comes out with the ball. Pops it out of his stick though. Couldn't get it free. Douglas Brooks is hounding there. Neal comes up with it. Brooks still chasing. Neal across the top. Great speed from the man in the black helmet. Shot just wide of target, but backed up by East Coast. Nice hustle play through the middle there. Nolf with the ball. Looks to send it up top now. Koba up. And Bren with the ball now. Bren down the line. His shot off the top bar. Backed up again by East Coast. Looking for a ball on the field. Pulls with Koba now. Looks to carry past his man. Gets above GLE. Can't get his hands free though. Ball's up top with Bren now. Had a good lefty look earlier. Looking down inside. That ball knocked down by the South Australian defenders. It's going to be out of bounds, and Nolf will take it now for New South, or the East Coast, I should say. Great little bit of defensive stick work there, getting that ball knocked loose. Nolf hounding though. Ball to the far side. It's Kesavan with it. Looks to carry across the midline. Sends it inside now. Brooks down low for Keesing. Out the back now, and it's Rosenthal with it. Far side now, Bartlett has it. Brooks up top now. Keesing the lefty up top near side now. Back to Brooks. Again, very wide, settled offense from South Australia. They're not really rushing anything. Letting New South come to them. Or East Coast come to them, I should say. Ball's up top now with Brooks. Ball's out back now. Looking for the feed inside. Keesing has it. Brooks down the line there. Nice pick. Bren powers through it though. Looking for Lim through the middle. Can't get it to go. Bartlett has it again. Looking to sweep across the top. Big shot there. Defence does a good job getting a body to it. And it's backed up by East Coast. Ball's with Gilmore, the goalie now. Clearing pass out. Aaron Aldred comes up with it. Ball's up top with Al-Kayat. And we've got the clock coming on the field now. Last quarter, it was 4-0. SA had the ball all the way, and with about 25 seconds left, Matt Davies snuck one by for East Coast. Will they score in the final 30 seconds of this quarter? Aaron Aldred gets the ball up top. He steps down. Shot saved by Watt. Ball's on the crease. Loose. Picked up there by East Coast. Couldn't get it to go. Backed up now by the gentleman in the blue. Looking for a quick direct now. Aldred has it again. Steps down. Big shot. Stick sides high. Big save by Watt, who launches that one to the far end. Just playing a bit of catch with Gilmore there. Now at half time, it is 8-1, 4-0 that quarter, as East Coast played a whole lot of defense. Had a bit of trouble getting the ball clearing up in their offensive game. They were just having a hard time getting settled. But SA were putting their defense to work there as they take the lead 8-1. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with some first half highlights as we get ready to start the second half. All right, ladies and gentlemen at home, before we get underway with the second half here in Game 2 of the men's comp, we'll bring you some highlights from the second quarter as SA went on a 4-0 run. The loose ball there as Aaron Aldred was looking to get that ball up the line. Great ground ball and just the clear through from South Australian defence. Quick redirect, tic-tac-toe, Keesing on the backside, puts it in on the left. Back with SA again. Ball down the far side there. It was Bartlett with it. Got the pick from Lim. That was that find on the inside. Keesing gets it, sticks it far right corner. And again, just East Coast, just maybe pushing out a little bit far. They're forcing these long slides upon themselves. And it just means that South Australia had a really long time to get themselves free for the passes. That one was just wide of target, but the quick redirect, if you see the East Coast defence, goalie was barely back in the net, and the defenders weren't quite ready for that one as Keesing sticks it past Gilmore again. Dodge on the far side, and we had South Australia. Keesing on the redirect there. Back to the far side. It was a step down again from Bartlett finding the top shelf. And that brought us up to 8-1. Hello to Chris White watching from Newcastle. Rolly West watching at the office in Brisbane. It's good to know there's something productive going on in Queensland. Got Scott Vickery watching, Kath Connerty, Hope America was good. Robert Lawson, Sam Kilford. And feel free to say hi. Give us your thoughts on the game. Let us know who your favourite commentator is. Right up until I'm joined by the man himself, Tim Kennedy. Once there's competition, I don't like to know who the best commentator is. Tim, what have your thoughts been so far?
Look, welcome. Thank you very much for having me. It's I've missed your sultry sounds today, but no, look, it's been for the East Coast All Stars. It's always been about trying to develop over the last 2 or 3 years, and I've said for the last few years that every time the East Coast All Stars make it back here, it's a huge win for Australian lacrosse. And given where they started from, I mean, an 8-1 halftime score, I think that's quite a good outcome for them so far. They've obviously bogged down the South Australian offence, which has been fantastic to see. They'd obviously like to start to see a little bit more production on the offensive end. But look, it's only day one. The sides are obviously getting used to the speed and the rules, but no, good first half from them.
Absolutely, and I think some of the late injections of Victorian talent into the East Coast side has meant that there's a few new faces for them, and they're just feeling each other out. But we had 25 Gilmore between the pipes, came up with some big saves for the East Coast, and if they can get their transition game going off his effort, it'll be good to see them getting a few more shots, making it a little bit harder for Cody Watt. I think some of their shots in the first half maybe just a little bit too predictable. Cody Watt, especially down low, he does a good job reading that shot, and he's getting himself down there before the ball's arriving.
Well, it's easy when you're 4'2" for a start for young Cody. He's obviously developed one of our colleagues' genes there, and is perhaps a little vertically challenged at times, young Cody. But he makes up for that with some huge goalie play. And look, he's no schmuck. He's going away with the ASPACs in next month. He's got a big job ahead of him up there to see if Australia can break that duck up there. Japan have dominated that lately, but for the East Coast, once they get inside, they're going to want to make sure they stick those shots, aren't they?
Absolutely, make it hard for him. And I've just been informed it's Cody Watts. I've been saying Watt. Sorry, there's a lot of Watts going on in there. SA just having a quick jog to the end line. East Coast ready to get back out to the field. Gilmore being piggybacked out by one of his defenders. Looks like an efficient goalie movement system. I should try it out sometime.
It's a great opportunity for these East Coast guys to get these Victorians chucked into the mix here and play at this high level. There's a lot of exciting development going on north of the border or north of the wall with Gold Coast re-emerging up there to take on Brisbane, Sunshine Coast and UQ. University of New South Wales have a standalone program now in New South Wales, and of course the Canberra Griffins. A couple of Canberra boys running around in this squad as well as Newcastle. Jared Neal, he's a Newcastle boy, so great to have a Newcastle guy out there. So to get that mix spatter in some Americans and some Victorians, probably a good thing for them.
Absolutely, and it's only going to be good things keeping on coming down to these tournaments. It's a tough run taking on these well-established state sides. But it'll be. I'm looking forward to the day when we've got the fourth and fifth states in, New South Wales and Queensland able to fork off on their own, and then Canberra hopefully following closely behind. But the growth is very exciting up north.
Did you just tell them to fork off?
I don't think so. No, I never tell someone to. But as Yogi Berra said, if you ever come to a fork in the road, take it.
So there's just a break there on the inside. Jack Woodford back in the middle here is a huge pickup for South Australia. He's going to be really key for them as the week goes on.
Absolutely, and we saw a great face-off battle in the Victoria WA game. twin-headed attack of Victoria with Sean Clark and Nathan Bell were looking ferocious in the first half, but Aaron Salter just fought his way back into the game to keep WA in it.
Yeah, he's just come off the plane from Cortland. He's just spent the year behind the Division 3 All-American face-off guy there. So tremendous experience for Salty. But it was, it was an interesting battle in the middle, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it's a good one to see. It's a tough one when you've got Victoria would have the odds-on favourites in the face-off, and they're arguably the third and fourth players. We had two Victorians in the senior Aussie side in the last World Cup. Bell and Clark not quite making it, but they're definitely showing their worth out here now.
Oh, look, they would have
makes a big save.
They would have been 3 and 4, that's for sure, in that pecking order. Very unlucky to have missed out, particularly Sean Clark. Who'd been in tremendous form for Williamstown, obviously taking out the fairest and best last year for Lacrosse Victoria. He was good today as well.
Absolutely, and we saw both the Victorian Fogos, I should say, making some attacking play as well. Clark getting a goal for himself. Bell just shooting wide of target as he got the ball out of the centre. But it will be interesting to see how South Australia and the East Coast All-Stars find answers for the dominance that is the Victorian face-off unit, as Woodford there gets a goal of his own.
Yeah, that's what I like about Woodford's game. He's one of those face-off guys that can contribute up and down the lines, but more importantly do some serious damage on the scoreboard. He's obviously been in great form. He's the reason why Brighton are undefeated out in South Australia at the moment, but can't afford to give him too much space out there.
No, absolutely. And I think still just the positioning of this East Coast defence, I think as they get more comfortable working with each other, some of the different midfielders they've got in there, hopefully they'll be able to just get their ranging out, because their slide timing is just giving themselves a hard run. Just trying to get themselves to get to the ball on time and just not force these long slides that give SA a long look at the ball. Unable to get a ground ball there, but it's picked up now by Bartlett. He's got Davies watching him. Lim on the near side, centred behind now.
Hearing out of South Australia that Lim's been very impressive. Brighton needed players to step up this year with a few key injuries, but Lim is certainly one of those that stepped up in a massive way for the Bombers.
That's what we like to hear, especially if it means good lacrosse for the fans at home watching on the ALN. Lim's been dangerous early on for SA. Again, if he can get his angles right on the righty fading shots, it's going to be even more so. Big split there from Bartlett. Lim for the cut inside, decides against it. Woodford now has it. He's guarded by Aaron Aldred. Aldred, one of 3 Footscray players playing at their home club for the East Coast All-Stars. Few late withdrawals or injuries from East Coast left them short-handed. There are a number of Victorian players more than happy to play a home tournament and just try and help grow the game up in the well, I was going to say the northeast, I should say. Doing a good job now, the East Coast defence, just forcing SA to make a mistake there as they look to pass inside. Mercier can't get a handle on the ball as he gets the pass from Gilmore.
Not a good feed there from Rosenthal. Really needed to settle that down a little bit more, not try and peg the ball through the keeper.
Absolutely, and it's one of those quick change of pace. I think the SA player on the receiving end may not have been ready for it anyway. It was sort of a bit of a slow swing the ball around the outside play and then just one, big over-the-top cut pass. And just couldn't get it to go. Big flag on the play there.
Ellingworth putting that flag into the clouds, almost creating rain. It's fantastic to see.
But we're trying to avoid rain, Tim. We don't want to see any of that. Weather's been good, if not frosty, so far today. Obviously playing into the hands of the locals. People from WA hadn't actually seen clouds in a few months.
No, it's been quite dry back home in Perth. Must admit, took a little while to warm up to the ground conditions today. Certainly some dangerous patches out there. I wouldn't say dangerous for us West Australians who aren't used to mud.
Absolutely. That's how we like it, though. We've been claiming there was 30 millilitres of rain in the western suburbs. It's actually just a lot of hose work. As Davies with a great spin there gets it by Watts. I'll see that one on the replay. It was a nice little move, just well under control. Gets his hands free on the inside and manages to make him pay.
Particularly impressive with this shot is if you have a look just as the shot goes, Cody Watts drops to his knees. trying to predict the shot, and I don't know what hole he's found that through, but you see Watts has already dropped down expecting that, and I think he's put that through the 5-hole.
Absolutely. I think if you look at the angle on that one, Watts was so far forward on his toes, he didn't have any power to drop with. So I think it's one of those ones where you can sometimes sacrifice the speed of the drop by preempting and getting down early. So SA have capitalised on that man up. East Coast have capitalised on that man up. And I think Watts there just sort of being a little bit preemptive. You need to be able to drop the hammer there, and you need a good, powerful base to be able to do that. Good body save on that one, though. Good positioning from Watts.
He's in terrific form at the moment, isn't he?
He's doing very well. Perfect opportunity playing for this SA side to get himself primed for the ASPAC tournament. Getting the tournament play as well as his club play back in South Australia.
Yeah, they've been an interesting enigma, Glenelg, this year. Dropped a couple of games early, sitting third on the ladder out there. But Cody, no doubt, a big part of their success, particularly in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. An exciting times. A bit more of a pressure ride here from East Coast. SA get it over the line now. We were seeing a pretty relaxed ride early on from New South Wales. They've tightened that up a little bit. I think just trying to put a bit more pressure on these passes. But SA in no hurry to get the clear. As Rosenthal sends it through behind. Ball's loose there, picked up though by SA. Bit of behind the back action, finds Keesing on the far side.
Bit of razzle dazzle.
Look, that's what this game was missing, I think. Someone has to be the flashiest on the field. Ball behind now, Lim, great split, gets himself to his left, drops the hands. Gilmore just a little bit too slow getting down on that one and just absolutely smoked his defender as he changed direction there, Arlen Lim.
As I was saying, Lim, one of those guys that's really stepping up there for South Australia. You'll see his name a fair bit. He's done well for the 18s coming through. So it's good to see him make the step up into the state team, and he was somebody who will really relish that. Geez, how's the split there?
Put his defender on ice there as he's stumbling around, but just got his hands so free and that sort of range. You need that slide coming down, whether it's a coma or something just dropping from the top there. But I think no one was ready for Arlen Lim to be that open that quickly. As we're back in the centre now.
Got a break again there on
Aaron
East
Aldred
Coast.
there breaks. And Woodford will take the ball for it.
Want to be careful there on the restart. Probably didn't get his required 5 yards if he'd made contact.
Yeah.
Could potentially have thrown a flag on that.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting one, the new rule, where you've got to get your 5 metres away before you're allowed to be back involved in play. It's one that I think attacking or, the player receiving the ball after penalties hasn't been necessarily taking advantage of in a lot of play. But it's also just a new one for referees to be watching out for. Yeah,
it's a tough one to call sometimes. But that said, though, what's really important, it can be devastating in the middle of the field, particularly in transition. If there's a quick turnover, if the players are alive to it, it can result in goals quite easily.
Absolutely. And just that quick restart. Referees just restarting play there. Ball's with Rosenthal. Up top now for 22, Forbes. Having a hard time seeing some of these names. Big high hit on that one. Ball hits the deck. And we're going to see East Coast go man down.
Great to see Michael Wallace running around. Wally is a long-time Wembley Lacrosse Club player back in Perth, former West Australian state player. Has, for one reason or another, moved over to Sydney. And we see him surface every couple of years. So good to see Wally still running around at this level.
Very exciting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that people chose to move to Sydney.
It blows my mind.
It's something that you so rarely hear of, but it's nice that they still let him out.
I honestly thought we still had convict rules, and you only went out there if you were sent there. But hello to all our friends in Sydney.
Great save there from Gilmore. As Woodford made that one a little bit too easy for the big keeper from the East Coast.
Alex Mercier with the ball, rocking the gold dome.
The C-3PO helmet there. And he's weaving through traffic. Gets by the ride. Curls back out, hands off to Aldred now. Nice clearing play there from East Coast after the big save from Gilmore. East Coast not seeing a double come. Maybe we'll get one now. There we go. South Australia, the man up, but not taking advantage very early on. East Coast looking to kill the penalty here. And just as that ball's knocked loose, we have Nolf retake the field, and we're back to 6-on-6 here, 10-2 in the third quarter. Again, SA have been slowed down just by scrappy and pestering play from East Coast, doing a good job making it competitive. Haven't had success on the board in terms of getting the score thereafter, but done a good job getting looks. Big look inside there for Bren. Couldn't get a handle on it. Picks up the ground ball, turns the corner, and he's off the pipe there on that one. It's the second time Bren's found a pipe. Unable to find the back of the net, though. Great little take there from Todd Bartlett. He's got numbers ahead, looking to feed the crease, manages to do so, and Rosenthal gets that one by Gilmore as the East Coast defence couldn't quite get there in time.
This really is the baby bombers down there. Rosenthal, another one of those young guys who have been key to Brighton's success. Crafty attackman, played at Onondaga last year. Got a little bit of game time with those guys. Onondaga, for the uninitiated, is probably the elite junior college program in the US. But he's returned back this year. He's no longer there, and he's back and a key part of this Brighton offence moving forward.
Exciting times. One of the lasers up in Onondaga. They're just won, I think, probably their 436th Junior College Championship.
A thrilling game too. If you can find the highlights, I recommend it. The game-tying goal was magnificent. Absolutely.
One of the closer games you'll see from them. Historically, they'd been, winning games by 20, 30 points sometimes. But bit of good competition there from the Junior College competition. As more depth grows in the game, you'll see the club ball at college getting better and better each year. You're seeing teams go from club to NCAA, and then also the junior college, more and more good players looking to get their academics right while they're playing at a slightly lower rigor school to begin with. But it's exciting to see the Australians over there as well, with a number of Australians playing over in the States at the moment.
Well, of course, Mercia, who we were just talking about, playing at Genesee. Sam Coswara from Wembley out there as well. Lincoln Potter from Woodville.
They're taking over.
Well, they are. There's a few.
That's what's going on.
There's a few. But good to see a few of them, translate that into spots on NCAA rosters and get over into the regular stream. But good to see them out there.
Absolutely. Big shot there. Woodford getting Gilmore 5-hole.
Oh, Jack Woodford again. Ripping left that time off the top. Great finish by him. What was particularly impressive with that shot was that he took a little bit off there and focused more on placement. A real good... a teaching point for a lot of junior laxers out there who consistently try and blow the goalkeeper from here to kingdom come when taking their shots. But as you can see, just rips that left-handed, puts it in the bottom corner nicely. Not a lot of speed on that, but perfect placement.
As my junior coach used to say, he's never seen someone shoot a ball through a goalie. You're better off not hitting them.
You're just saying that because you're a goalie and you prefer to not have people shoot through you. Would I be right in saying that?
Look, I'm a delicate flower at best. I don't like to be hit too much. As ball comes out, SA got the initial pickup on it. Aldred couldn't quite get it free, though. Ball was loose. Loose again now. Both sides trying to clear through. Neil is in the middle there. He's got Bren with him. Couldn't get it to go off red, it looks like. There we go. That's the call. East Coast will come away with it now.
Toby Raymond and K-Man out there. You tried to pronounce K-Man's last name yet, Tim?
No.
Me neither. He's another part of the Aspacs team that are heading away.
Yeah, he's been an exciting defender to watch. Does a good job out there. And make his presence felt in transition as well sometimes. SA in possession there. K-Man on the crease there. Finally decides to leave. Bit of Brown style across there. We're seeing more and more of that in the college game. The long poles staying out on transition, not worrying about subbing too much, or too early, I should say. But, I think obviously the domain of the attackers. They don't like defenders coming up and joining them. Great sweep across the top there from Bartlett. Ball checked loose. Got the ground ball himself. Couldn't get away with it though. Ball's knocked wide. SA still chasing after it. Rosenthal comes up with the ground ball. Sends it across the far side.
A little bit unsettled here at the moment. East Coast need to be careful not to expand too much, because if they expand too much, it's going to create some holes on the inside. And South Australia have some talented feeders on this side, and they'll be more than willing to pick it apart.
Absolutely, and I think spacing has been a big thing for East Coast. That quarter, only another 4 goals for SA. East Coast managing to get their second of the game. And as we make third quarter time, 12-2 is the score here. East Coast doing a good job getting just that range on the defence, trying to pick their mark and work out how far out they're going, and then just the timing on these slides. It's they've given Gilmore some good looks, and he's given them some good saves, but obviously as a goalie you want your attackers, or you want the other team's attackers under as much pressure as possible. So look for East Coast to keep trying to tighten that up. Got some highlights now from the third quarter. There was plenty of SA again on this one. And just swinging the ball around the outside. Haven't been looking for big dodges so much. It's been more of a motion offense. Big step down shot there though, as Jack Woodford finding his first of the quarter.
Key there is that look, Woodford's ripped that one on his right hand side, but as you'll see a little bit later, too skilled being able to put his second goal away on his left.
Absolutely. We had East Coast here. It was Nolf with the ball, sending it out behind. Ball up to Davies there. His man overcommits on that approach. Gets the step past him. Little spin move from Davies, and he manages to put that one low and away. It was back to SA at the far end now. Ball was behind. Again, not rushing much on their offense, but just that change of direction. That was Arlen Lim there. Puts his defender on skates and no help, able to come in time. He was that open as he got his hands free and put that one away lefty. Big turn of the corner there. Bren had his shot ricochet off the pipe. The pickup was made by SA though. Big clearing run upfield and just good transition play. Finding the crease man there as we're about to have the opening face-off for the fourth quarter. Scores are 12-2. Still joined here by Tim Kennedy, the emperor of the ALN.
Oh, you're too kind.
Here at sunny Footscray Lacrosse Club. And the weather has been lovely. It was looking ominous this morning, but it's stayed good for us so far. Let's hope we can have more of that as the weekend continues to go by. Ooh. Foot stuck in a stick there, but it's picked up by Fuss. Fuss the Younger, I believe he's called. If he's anything like Fuss the Elder, he's probably got the biggest pocket on his stick imaginable.
I'd be definitely having a good gander at that.
That was
noting that one.
Yeah, it was. If you ever want to see a traditional shopping basket, find the stick of Matt Fuss. Keesing now with it, member of the two last Australian sides. Up top now, SA still with it again. No rush here from the Reds. Keesing puts it in his right hand.
You got a moving pick down in the corner.
Absolutely, just one of those areas you don't need in a game like this. I think SA doing well enough offensively. You don't need to be, making little mistakes like that. But good for East Coast to capitalise. Robbie Buckhorn has that one knocked out of his stick. Couldn't get the ground ball clean. Ball knocked forward. Loose ball push there on South Australia. So East Coast will get another crack at it. Jared Neal out of Newcastle there looks to pass the ball across the middle. Can his man keep it in? Yes, he can. East Coast can't get the ground ball, though, and the SA Reds are on the break again.
Bang! That's a great hit. Oh, no.
Big hit on that one. It looked... May see a replay on this one now. I will see it again. It looked very in the side. I mean, it was a bit of a hospital pass, but we'll see what happens here. Just that pass over the top.
You see there, he's throwing the ball up.
Coming out.
Oh. No, we'll have to trust that Dave had a good angle on that one. Dave McRae on the corner.
Typical Tim Kennedy call there. Trust the referees. Oh, what's he like?
Keep calm and trust us refs.
You would say that, though, wouldn't you?
Look, that's a line ball call, that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's turned into, initially they had a shot at the back, but he's turned into it. So you can see why that's gone that way.
SA on the power play, though. Woodford sends it down now. Across the front, Rosenthal to Keesing. Gilmore couldn't get back there in time. Matt Davies just unable to get the pressure on.
For those who are at home, so what happens in that scenario where the goalkeeper cops a penalty, if they only have one goalkeeper, which New South Wales does, rather than effectively gearing up a new goalkeeper, each side's required to nominate a defender at the start of the game who must start on the field. In that situation there, whilst the penalty goes against the goalkeeper's name, the nominated defender actually takes that penalty. So if you're wondering why the goalkeeper remained on the field, that is why, as we can just see the nominated defender down there, Nicholas Conway, coming back on the field for the East Coast All-Stars shortly.
Ball played forward by Aaron Aldred. Couldn't get possession of it, though, as SA, the open wing there, come up with it. Stephen Mortimer running down the alley there. Shot low and away. The long pole finds the back of the net, making it 14-2.
Pretty devastating penalty, that one. Couple of goals off the back of it. Very, very good return for South Australia.
Absolutely, and just taking advantage. Aldred played that ball forward, but the that SA wingman just so far down the line there, ready for that play, knowing that there was no opponent on that wing for him, and could just get the open ground ball and run away with it.
Great to see Steve Mortimer running over here on the wing. The ageless man himself. Still got blazing speed, no doubt. You watch him be the first man in here. No pressure at all, Steve.
Rowe comes up with the ball. Sorry, Dow comes up with the ball. Misread that one. And SA back with it now. Bartlett up the top, looks to feed inside. Stephen Mortimer with the blind shovel shot. Pushing his luck a little bit there. Couldn't get that one to go.
Well, of course, Morty was formerly an Australian captain and midfielder. Looking for ways to extend his career. Has moved into the back line where all good midfielders go to rest. But had some great seasons for Glenelg, particularly over the last few years.
Absolutely. Speaking of extending your career, how's refereeing going, Mr. Kennedy?
Terribly.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of retiring at the ripe old age of 36. Body just can't handle it anymore.
Not much glory to be had in reffing, I've noticed.
No, not at you.
People think it's a rock and roll lifestyle. But
look, we certainly have a crack at making it a rock and roll lifestyle. But if you're somebody that isn't for constructive criticism, maybe refereeing is a view.
That's the real issue, yeah. As SA find the back of the net again, they've picked up the pace on scoring here in the fourth quarter.
Must admit, though, today I was fortunate enough to run in the WA Victoria game, which I think for anybody that watched the game earlier today would agree. It was a fantastic game to watch, hard hitting. There was no quarters to be left, but credit to the Victorian crowd. They were fantastic to referee in front of. They were fun to sort of interact with, and they were really, really well behaved. So credit to those guys. Usually when you come here and referee or even play as a non-Victorian, it can be quite loud, but a credit so far to the crowds today.
Loud and positive, I like to think.
Yeah, that's the
a lot of many of the gentlemen's discussion has been had.
They're positively telling you what they think you could have done better.
Yeah, helping you grow. I hear you, Tim. I'm the spin man. We're doing well here. Big dodge, duck, dip, dive. Dodge still has the ball. Can't get it to go, though. And timeout is called on the play.
Something going on there. A little bit of a niggle.
Bit of a scuffle there, but Bartlett's teammates deciding to keep him out of it.
Bartlett was added to the Shark squad quite late in the lead up to 2018. Young stud out of Glenelg. He's a name to remember. He's probably in the frame I would have thought at the moment for 2022. Diminutive player, but can move very, very well. Very similar to a Jim Lawson. Hard to sort of get a read on, but very good with the ball. Holds possession well there. And look, he's going to have a lot of those situations, isn't he, when he's rolling around on the ground, holding possession and just copping hits from left, right and centre. I think it's just byproduct of his game, but with that, he manages to find the back of the net quite frequently.
That's good to see, but again, a well-timed timeout call from SA, keeping possession on that one and possibly saving Bartlett a few extra hits to the dome.
Great to see our great friend over there, ALN commentator extraordinaire, Mr. Tony Watts, head coach of South Australia. And, of course, Alex Kober, head coach of New South Wales, having his first run at the job for the East Coast All-Stars. How good is it seeing them back out here, though?
It is. It's always exciting to see East Coast down here, and it's a tough ask. I think they come down, they're paying, out of their own pocket, taking time off work, all of that, just to grow the game. And in the early days, growing the game means taking beating after beating from the established states. But again, it's just great to see because, obviously, as we expand out and head further up the East Coast, we're going to have more variation in tournament hosting, more exposure to just top-level players and top-level athletes that are not getting the lacrosse exposure we're seeing at the moment. But it's good to see the big wrap-around attempt, Arlen Lim going around the world on that one.
He made it look easy, didn't he?
He made it look very easy until he missed the goal. I've always
smooth.
noticed it looks better when it goes in the back of the net.
It's one of those coach killers, isn't it? Looks fantastic, but if you miss, you're the worst player on the team, and if you make it, you're a hero.
Absolutely. I think all attackers in their own minds are heroes, though, so it works out well for them.
They're arguably the biggest prima donnas on the paddock, just marginally behind goalkeepers.
We are special people.
That's one way of putting it.
Big bump there coming for him. Rowe rolls off on that one, though. Brooks has it, sends it down the far side. Back to Brooks now. We've seen a bit of face-off action from him as well as a bit of work up in the attack line. And big face-off depth for the SA team. They've run a number of guys at the X. Looking for that feed to the crease in front. Couldn't get it to go. Ball's knocked down. Robbie Buckhorn still chasing. Luke Keesing's going to come up with it, though. Gets it out now to Rowe. Rowe to Brooks. Down low now. Good face dodge there. Couldn't get it to go, though. Looks like a second push from behind there. There was a flag on the play. Mercier took a hit early. See what comes of that. There's a second bump, whether that's called or not sure. But East Coast will get that free clear up to the midline there. And Al-Kayat with it now. Gets it down to Nolf. Back out now on the far side. I'd love to see a bit more of a dodging game. I think East Coast need to keep working at this drive in, draw and dump play there. They're standing at the outside and sort of trying to force the feeds inside, and a great one on that. Just as I'm saying, the feeds aren't quite working out.
Did you just
finds Bren?
That's what we call a reverse jinx.
Absolutely, but a good feed on that one. But this motion offense, I want to see a bit more draw and dump from them. I want to see them take these South Australian players on, have a crack, and then find the room from there. But this alley, you can see that pass. It was wide of target, but Bren just went full stretch on that, grabbed a hold of it, and managed to put that one past Watts on the inside.
It's one of those man upsets where they started the 1-4-1 and then drop one of those crease guys back to sort of go into a 15-style arrangement. And you know what? There's a real skill in being that top centre feeder, because in order to hit that bottom corner, you basically have to thread the needle between two guys, and they really did at that time.
Absolutely, it's a high risk, high reward. If you can give yourself a lot of pass options, but you have to be able to get the ball to them. Ball behind now with Bartlett, sends it up for Lim.
Great transition defence there from the East Coast to slow that up. It looked for all money like SA were away with the old dink and dunks on the fast break, but they were able to shut that down with some excellent defensive movement. So credit to the East Coast defence on that.
They've done a good job dropping into defence all day, but yeah, it was particularly good. And again, it's sort of not just arriving in defence; it's the presence of mind to get themselves to their players. As Lim finds the back of the net on that one, and it'll make it 16-3. Now 2/3 of the way through the fourth quarter here. We'll see the replay on this one again. Maybe the East Coast just a little bit too far out on this one, forcing those long slides. And if you see, just ball watching there wasn't Lim, sorry, it was Fuss who put that one away. It was just good spacing there from SA, forced the error in the East Coast defence.
An exciting day tomorrow, Tim. Big triple header of women's action.
Absolutely. We've got 3 days of 3 games a day coming up here at the National Championship. Tomorrow, though, will be a big one for the broadcast. We've got women's Victoria versus the East Coast All-Stars at 9:15. At 11:45, we've got Western Australia versus South Australia in the women's. And then at 2:30, we've got the Australian Under-19 women taking on the East Coast All-Stars. So that's 3 big games. Work out when in the day you need to take your lunch break to watch some of that if you're at work.
If you don't smoke, start smoking now, if only to try and snag yourself a break. And of course, we don't advocate smoking, just for the record there. But
absolutely, but yeah, just try and snag the break. That's really the main focus.
Whatever you need to do.
But again, it'll be exciting stuff to see. We saw a big first day of women's play yesterday. Didn't have the broadcast crew down, but there was some big results. SA getting a dominant win over a determined under-19 outfit for the women, and then Victoria getting revenge from last year's national final against WA as Bartlett finds the back of the net again for South Australia here. seeing WA Victoria today and now watching SA versus East Coast. Tim, who do you see taking on what we assume would be a strong-looking Victorian side in a final? Do you think the young SA side can do it, or the
no, it's a
slightly less young WA side?
No, it's a fascinating scenario because WA, I think, really outperformed themselves today. They took it up to Victoria all throughout the day. And to that end, it's probably the biggest unknown that you've seen WA put out for a long time. Very, very, very good top end of players. Lockie Walker, Mitch Kennedy running around for those guys. So very good top end. So you're really not sure what you're going to get from WA. But the funny thing is, WASA, you know what? Doesn't matter how they're performing. Save for last year, SA have had the wood over WA for the better part of the last 4 years. And I don't think anyone in SA would mind me saying it, but the reality is the WA have probably had the more talented squads. But South Australia, and I think a lot of it's their box style with some of their players, they've always found a way to get through WA. So it's going to be a very interesting game. WA will definitely be buoyed by their performance today. There's no doubt about that. And I think having the day off tomorrow will help because it was a hard-hitting game. But look, I'm not gonna hazard a guess on that one, Timmy. It's going to be a cracker.
Oh, there we go. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the sides do. Having said, I'd hate to rule out East Coast for the final. It's a slow one today, but who knows what they've got in store for their next games.
Well, they'll have WA tomorrow morning on ground 2. We won't be showing that game. And, of course, then you'll have SA versus Victoria tomorrow, which, if it was anything like today's game with Victoria, should be an absolute cracker. So, that said, though, I don't think anyone would complain that having the WASA women on song is going to be pretty good.
Absolutely, it'll be an interesting one. We saw a strong performance from SA yesterday. Bit of a hard read on the WA Victoria game yesterday. This Victorian unit have added about 5 Australian players from last year's squad, and just again, have really shown the depth of the Victorian women's game. But it'll be interesting to see how WASA go. Again, a few newer players, some new faces in the senior women's ranks that we've seen coming up through the juniors in recent years, which is exciting to see. But it'll be interesting to find out how it goes in terms of gameplay. No call on the play there, but an East Coast player went down after a big hit. And as they stopped play for him, they've got to get him off the field and bring a sub on before they can restart there. Great little dunk of a move inside there. Couldn't get it to go, though. Was Todd Bartlett with it. Ball's backed up, though, by SA. Across the top now. Forbes with it, rolls back to his right, gets his hands free, save Gilmore. SA backing up again. Score 17-3. It's stretched a little bit here in the fourth as we come to the closing minutes. Keesing thought about the step down. Rob Buckhorn coming for him, though. Getting on the glove there, and now he sends it to the far side for SA, looking for that dodge from the top. Bartlett, closing angle, gets it back to his right, thought about the shot, couldn't get it to go, finds the backside. Keesing is there on the left and puts it away, making it 18-3. Great ball movement there and great off-ball movement from South Australia, making it hard for the East Coast.
Yeah, the floodgate's slowly starting to open now as we're into the stop clock. Just a minor change on the stop clock rules this year for men. Last 30 seconds of each of the first 3 quarters and the last 2 minutes of the last quarter stop clock.
Hadn't realised that rule had changed when there was a stop clock question on the officials test I was taking earlier this year.
And how did you go?
I was adamant that I was right, and I would have been a year earlier, but it didn't work out for me there.
Come on, issues. We're transparent here. How'd you go with your first sitting?
Obviously passed with flying colours, probably.
Jack Woodford there, clean as a whistle out of the middle. The old pinch and pop in the back and then the flip.
Lim sends it down low there, and Woodford back with the ball now. Ball's with it, hearing calls of a minute to go now. SA probably looking to hold for one final dish at it. Fush sends it down the line there.
Nice ball movement from South Australia here.
Absolutely, it'll be good to see them having probably this warm-up game with such a young side. We'll see how this translates as they take on WA and Vic in their next games. But the ball movement is looking good, especially from such a young or such a maybe a less experienced unit as a team, as playing as a state side. Couldn't get that one free. Al Kayat came out with the ball, tried to flick it up for Mercy, couldn't get it to go. Picked up now by Arlen Lim. Lim onto Fuss. Clock is on the field. We're in our final 30 seconds now. Fuss there, shot at Gilmore's chest pad. Didn't go through the goalie, I noticed. Big bump off ball. Rob Buckhorn coming up with it now. Short time left. Got to go long if they're going to want something to come of it. And that brings us to the end of the game as Footscray's Buckhorn looked to clear there. East Coast All-Stars, an admirable 3 goals. SA 18 just sort of running away with it a bit at the end. It was a bit of a grind. East Coast just having a hard time getting the ball in the back of the net, but they did a good job in overall play, looking as good as they have at least in recent years. So good signs from the East Coast, and good showing from a young SA outfit in a comfortable win there, 18-3. What were some highlights for you of that, TK?
Oh, look, I think from a South Australian's point of view, look, it was good to get everybody a touch. I think offensively they were clicking a little bit. They were moving the ball around. Good to see some of the young players. Good to see the likes of Lim and Fuss and Rosenthal getting involved. It's quite a jump going from playing club lacrosse and then getting headfirst into a national tournament. So the opportunity to play a game against, say, the East Coast in round 1 is probably a good thing for South Australia. The downside there now is there's going to be a real steep ramp up as they look to take on Victoria first, and then a likely, we'd call it, elimination final the day after against WA. So look, Tony Wattis would be pretty happy with that. For the East Coast though, I mean, look, fantastic performance by them. I mean, there was a period of time there where they looked confident with the ball. They zinged the ball around, which was fantastic. Got a few nice goals there. Defensively, I think it's probably less about the score for these guys and more about the structures, learning the structures, getting the structures right. And I think there are a few times there, something as simple as taking a South Australian fast break and defensively being able to rotate and shut that down. It was a really good development for these guys. It's a sign that they're moving in the right direction. But no, look, so for the East Coast, really good. A really good performance from them, and they've got to be happy with that today.
Absolutely good signs of things to come as we're just running through some highlights from the game we've seen. It was Bren with a finish on that one. He'd hit the pipe twice on his first 2 shots, finally managed to find the back of the net there.
One more and the pipe police would have been out for him, I reckon.
It was all SA from here on out, though, as they closed out comfortably. Cross crease feeds again. Good ball movement inside, and SA, good to see them taking a risk as well on some of these. Against the less experienced defence, they were having a crack at it. They were trying to make some moves, get the ambitious passes in there, and see how they do under pressure. Bit of a water test maybe, but it'll be good to see how the youth of SA do against the slightly more experienced WA and the quite a bit more experienced Victorian sides. This is our final goal of the game we had. It was SA again. Big sweep from the top. Didn't use the pick, but Bartlett, just that change back to his right hand, quick redirect to Keesing, and that East Coast defence were just hung up watching there as Bartlett went down the far side. Sending my manservant TK over to the far side of the field to try and get some insights as to what's going on over there as we have our presentation. I think some photos may be being taken before the MVP presentations, but it was a good showing from both sides. Interesting to see who gets the MVP nods as we see Kennedy majestically striding over. I think East Coast in now for a photo. I think maybe they'd like you as a centrepiece. I think it'd be good to see Tim Kennedy lying through the middle there as both teams get in for a huddle. It's lacrosse picks out there we can see doing the hard work again. We had some great photos from day one. So if you're at home, you can't get down to the tournament, you want a glimpse of the inside of it, we'll get you over to Lacrosse Picks on Facebook. That's where you want to be going. One last photo. Always good to get the iPhone photographers in there with the pros as well. It's always nice to see. And hopefully we'll have mic range to be able to hear on the far side as New South Wales look to get a team photo as well. Should they not some? But we'll see how this goes. All right, so for all of you playing along at home, if you've found this, we're just going to run through a few of our sponsors and just some supporters of Australian lacrosse in general, which is good to see. Sports Armour there. Cott Gunning Lawyers, 100 years of lawyers. Hopefully it's not just one old guy. Sports Centre, do a lot of the apparel and uniforms for Aussie teams and a lot of the state sides. We've got the senior men's and women's. Have the under-15s nationals will be coming up, and in South Australia later this year, Ackland Travel. They've been helping out Australian lacrosse for a long time now. The state's working with them. Oriana Property Group do a lot for Footscray Lacrosse Club, but lacrosse in Australia and Victoria in general, which is great to see. And if you're looking to follow us on the socials, Australian Lacrosse Network on Instagram, Australian Lacrosse Network on Facebook, and AusLaxNet on Twitter will get you to us. 3am Web and IT there, another proud sponsor. And we've got both sides coming over now for the MVP presentations. Kennedy's out there with the microphone, so we should be able to hear what's going on. I'll cut out of it now, and we'll see who got the MVP nods for both of these teams after what was a great showing from both sides.
Ground balls and defence was going really well. Your MVP for today is your goalie, Scotty. Yeah!
Next time, Tony.
Hey, great work out there today, boys. Great game. Anyway, the MVP for you guys is number 19, Alan.
Can I get the two MVPs, please?
We stretched out. All right, guys, let's do a warm down, please.
I'm about to get down on this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's coverage. Final score from today's game, 18-3. Both MVPs out there getting a photo. Scott Gilmore, keeper for East Coast, and Arlen Lim getting the nod from South Australia. Again, tomorrow's broadcasts we have at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time, Victoria versus the East Coast in the women's. At 11:45 a.m, Western Australia taking on South Australia. Make sure you're checking in if your state team is away from home. And at 2:30 p.m, we have the Australian Under-19 women taking on East Coast. Until then, thank you very much, everyone watching at home, and we hope to have you back tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday here at Footscray Lacrosse Club for the Australian 2019 Senior National Championships. Thank you very much.